Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan, and welcome to the latest episode of our sports show. As you know, in part three of the sports show, each week we preview an international event taking place overseas. And up for discussion this week is the big, massive Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. It lands on FITE TV. It can be watched all across Ireland on Friday, January the 13th, the first pay-per-view for Impact Wrestling of 2023. It's Hard to Kill, and it features numerous title matches and knockout matches. And one of the most intriguing matches of the evening is actually in the pre-show, is a six-way scramble match involving Kushida, Bundabeer Gijori, Yuja Amiro, Angels, Action Mike Jackson, and our special guest this evening, a former X Division champion, a former Ring of Honor wrestler as well, Canada's own Speedball Bailey. And Speedball, first of all, a pleasure to have you on the show. And how excited are you for Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill pay-per-view? But also, I do believe you have one eye on Kenny King, so you have that distraction and looming and the headlines as well.
That's right. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, I am extremely excited for Hard to Kill. I consider it quite an honor to be on the pre-show for many reasons. Number one being that happens for free on YouTube, so everyone can watch it. And also, I get to start the first pay-per-view of the year, so I have to kick things off, which is a great honor and also a lot of pressure, but I'm very excited for that.
And Speedball, maybe you can tell us a bit about this six-way scramble match in terms of the implications. Is it like a fatal four-way? Is it anyone can be involved? Is it first first one to pin, or is it a tag sort of element, or all wrestlers in the ring at the same time?
It is one fall, so it's going to be a free-for-all. Everyone will be fighting. There is a massively interesting group of people in that match because you have Bhupinder, who is relatively early in his career. He won the award at Impact for being the biggest upcoming star, all the way up to Mike Jackson, who is in his 70s, who is 72 years old, I believe. You've got Kushida, who is world-traveled and an absolute veteran. You've got myself, who's a former champion. You've got Alan Angels, who's been around for a while, was in AEW, is now making big waves in Impact. And you've got Yuya Uemura, who is a former New Japan Young Lion. So you've got all of the stages of a pro wrestling career in one match, a huge difference in the levels of experience, all going at it at the same time.
And Speedball, in terms of the match itself, is it a no holds bar type of match? Are weapons allowed? Can the action take place into the crowd as well? Is it almost like has it a street fight sort of element to it?
No, so there's still the normal rules of pro wrestling. You can only win by pinfall or submission inside the ring. You can get disqualified. I believe there are no countouts, so you can expect a lot of action on the floor and outside the ring. But to win the match, you must do so inside the ring.
And you're obviously looking forward to this pay-per-view, but obviously there's a big rivalry going on at the moment between yourself and Kenny King. It's taken a sort of an ugly sort of twist there. I say a pit fight is sort of looming between the two of you in the offing after this sort of pay-per-view. So are you heading into this pay-per-view with two eyes in the back of your head as well, in terms of Kenny maybe staking his nose or getting involved in this match?
So that's been his whole thing, right? He's been deliberately trying to make me angry. He arbitrarily decided a few months back that I wasn't who I claimed to be, and that there was a whole other side to me that he wanted to unveil. He's managed to make me angry, but I mean, there's no secret that I can get angry. I expect him to try and pull something, but also I don't intend to let that distract me.
And Mike, in terms of Speedball Bailey, in terms of this match as well, is this really to put the locker room on notice of your maybe X Division credentials again? Do you want another shot, another run at that sort of gig? Is this a way of pushing yourself into title contention if you emerge victorious in this six-way?
Absolutely. I think becoming the X Division champion once again for me is a marathon, not a sprint. So it's not about winning one match and getting right there. It's about consistently proving that I am on top of the division. And I believe that it'll take more than one win. It'll take win after win after win. And I'll need to beat everyone else in the division at one point or another to get the title back. And I am more than happy to do so.
Yeah, and Speedball, in terms of the locker room now at Impact Wrestling, you must be delighted to see an awful lot of your fellow country compatriots in terms of Impact Wrestling. An awful lot of Canadian wrestlers at the moment in Impact Wrestling. A strong sort of Canadian sort of locker room there in terms of wrestlers. Is that a nice sort of trend to see, to have so many of your countrymen, the likes of Eric Young competing at the top end, but another 3 or 4 Canadians as well in the locker room at Impact Wrestling at the moment?
It absolutely is. It is notoriously difficult to break out of Canada and make it to the US as a pro wrestler, but more so than having other Canadians around. I am just happy with the amount of diversity that is in the Impact locker room. You've got people from all over the world, from Japan, from Mexico, from Canada, from the US, and many other places competing at Impact. And I believe that that's what makes the show so interesting.
And I suppose, Speedball Bailey, doing my research now before the interview, I do believe you just stint at CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling, which is notorious in terms of its background as well, in terms of wrestling and in the background as well. You've been in the independent sector for a good while before coming to Impact Wrestling in 2021 and traveled in many sorts of productions. Do you feel that that is sort of helped you along your way in terms of mapping the road to you in terms of signing on when you did in 2021 with Impact Wrestling?
I think it absolutely has. I think traveling around the world is what has made me the wrestler I am today. I've competed extensively in Japan, in Mexico, all over Europe. And what really helps me stand out is at Impact is that I was able to bring the best from all the different styles that I've studied to Impact Wrestling.
And Speedball Bailey, have you ever wrestled here in Ireland?
I have, yes, many, many times.
Okay, and what can you have any sort of particular memory of your time here in Ireland?
Yes, I wrestled mainly in Dublin, at the Tivoli, which no longer exists, at the National Boxing Stadium, is it?
Okay,
Does that sound
RDS, yeah,
familiar?
RDS Arena.
Yes, correct. I've done many matches there. I had only one match outside of Dublin, I believe, which was in Cork, where I wrestled Pac in a fantastic match from OTT.
Okay, and Speedball Bailey, heading into 2023, what are your aspirations? What are your goals? And obviously, the first aspiration is to get your hand raised off this Friday night in the 6-way sort of scramble match. But leading on from then, what's the sort of goals? Obviously, to get the monkey off your back in terms of Kenny King as well. But then, is it very much a pursuit of X Division goals, or are you looking to maybe go down the line of a tag team route as well?
Well, in 2022, my goal was to really set myself apart and establish myself as one of the best pro wrestlers in America, in Impact Wrestling, become X Division champion. And I feel like in 2022, I set the bar really, really high. And very simply, my goal for 2023 is to be able to top the previous year. And a big part of that is not letting anyone like Kenny King distract me from doing so.
Okay, and finally, Speedball Bailey, I can't let you go but talking about the title match, the heavyweight championship match. Bully Ray going against the long reigning sort of champion. Bully Ray, a legend of Impact Wrestling, trying to dethrone the longest reign in Impact Wrestling. How do you see the match going yourself as an added sort of wrestler, as a wrestling fan? Are we in for a cracker?
We absolutely are. I mean, it certainly is Josh Alexander's biggest challenge yet. People have tried to mess with his head before, but I don't think anyone's been nearly as successful at it as Bully Ray. And Josh just accomplished the milestone as the longest reigning Impact champion in Impact history. So, I mean, you have to believe that he's got momentum on his side. I truly believe in his chances, but I also believe that, yeah, he's in for a big challenge in Bully Ray.
Yeah. On that note, Speedball Bailey, thanks for taking the time to speak to us on the airwaves this evening as we look in joyful anticipation for Friday, January the 13th. Hard to Kill Impact Wrestling on FITE TV, streamed all over here across Ireland. Do check out the pre-show. It can be aired and viewed on YouTube as well. Here as well, you will get to see Speedball Bailey in action in that 6-way scramble match against Kushida, Buenapur, Yuyo Amura, Alan Angels, and Action Mike Jackson. Speedball Bailey, an absolute pleasure talking to you on the airways, sir, and best luck for 2023.
Thank you, James.